What's good, y'all, and welcome to my review for this week's episode of My Hero Academia Season 3. And I gotta say, Studio Bones. Y'all have created a masterpiece of an episode. This might actually be my new favorite episode of Season 3, and maybe the whole series entirely. It's still going to be a close fight between that and the fight with Muscular, these two-parter episodes, as well as, of course, the fight with Muscular. That fight with Muscular was fucking phenomenal. But it's a close tie. It's a close tie between those three episodes. What's the greatest, but yeah. Apparently there's one more huge what the fuck, oh my god moment later on in Season 3. Apparently there's going to be later on, Jax Blade, he's telling, oh yeah, there's one more moment in Season 3 that I can't wait to see. Anime Ultimate's like, I'm not saying nothing, but I'm like, okay, I don't know how you could top this, but we'll see. Maybe something to do with them. But yeah, like I said, this episode was, if you guys saw my live reaction, you guys just saw how in much utter shock I was, and I was in when Bones just showed up. Like, this episode was like, I'm lost for words. This episode was just fucking amazing. I don't know what to say. But enough jibber jabber. Let us talk about the episode itself. So we started off with actually a flashback, and I gotta say, we learned a lot about All Might in this episode. Now I know we're also gonna learn a lot about him in the movie, because I'm pretty sure that it was actually been confirmed that's gonna be canon. Because All Might's gonna have a lot bigger focus in there, All Might Prime and all that shit. There's other screenshots we have seen, and and some trailers. We'll just still be reacting to the latest trailer. I've yet to see it, but yeah, that's enough here. Where we actually learn really the origins of the symbol of people. That's what I'm going to call this. What I'm going to call this review. The origins of the symbol, or the history of the symbol, like something like that. We actually find out that All Might, like Deku, was indeed quirkless. Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, oh shit, so that's why he picked him. Because I feel like, now, we all know probably the main reason why All Might did pick him was because, of course, his heroism. How, even though he's quirkless, he still ran right at that villain to save Bakugo, or at least to the best he could. But, in actuality, it looks like there was maybe an alternate reason on why All Might did pick Deku over, say, I don't know, Todoroki, fucking Bakugo, I don't know, Tokoyami, Minata, or any of the guys in Class A or Class B. Probably because he saw so much of himself in Deku. Kind of like how Jiraiya saw a lot of Naruto, which I guess there's a little stuff about Jiraiya and Naruto that you could pick, little things that are kind of similar to that stuff in Shippuden and other things. But yeah, it looks like the main reason, besides of course his hair was the fact that All Might probably sees a lot of himself within Deku. Him being quirkless, you'd still want to be a hero, and of course him wanting to be always smiling and being the symbol of peace, all that shit. And of course, after he punches all for one, we saw at the end of the last words, we got to see his full face in this episode. We don't get a good, it's right in front of your face. You can look at it, you see it, but sometimes, how the fuck does he see? Where are his eyes? Because, literally, his top half of his face is, covered in, I don't know, I'm guessing fake skin, or, skin grafts, because of the damage All Might probably gave to him at the end of, their first duel, at the beginning, 6 years ago, whatever we saw it, whatever their first duel was. But can someone please tell me how the man sees? I can't see his eyes. Is he legit blind? Does he have, some quirk like Daredevil where he could see sound waves or something? Is that how he sees? How does this man see? Because I don't see his eyes anywhere. Anyway. And he talks about, and it does, we know that, the previous holder of All for One, or One for All, where he actually says, that that there should be a symbol of peace, because the reason the crime rate is so high is because there isn't this one hero that everyone looks up to as the symbol of peace. I guess in a way you could say Superman, which we all know that All Might is heavily inspired by Superman. It doesn't take a genius to figure that out. So, It tells like, and she's like, you think you can do that even though you're quirkless? Of course, Nana Shimura, the previous holder of One for All, where it talks about, how that, All for One then talks about, like, how she was, like, that she was weak, and that it was useless for her to transfer your quirk over to you, blah, 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 just trying to really just get under All Might's skin. And he says, Nana Shimura, or mentor, I forget what exactly he called her, said, like, she was a proud hero. Keep her name out of your filthy mouth. What you gotta say? The voice acting. From both the dub and the sub, because Chibi posted a little part of the sub on his Twitter, which I listened to it. But of course I watched this episode dub, because you guys know I prefer the dub over here. I gotta say, Chris Sabath. Give this man a raise. Like, oh my god, Chris Sabath in this episode was amazing. Like, his voice acting was great. I would say that I definitely, like, now, unfortunately, now there are a couple points where I'm, like, kind of like 50-50 on, like, which one I did like better, because, like, the guy that plays All Might subbed, that man deserves a fucking raise. Like, oh my god. Like, that, no! And the, like, those wails, like, but it's just weird, in Japanese, it sounded like All Might was being strangled. Like, while he was wailing, he sounded like someone was strangling him at the same time. Was that just me? Because the guy sounded like he was also getting strangled while he said it. Maybe it was just me. But I think it's a toss up between those two, and all honestly, I'd say they're tied for voice acting. Like, which one was superior? But I don't know, I think it might give Chris Sabath the slight edge in my personal opinion. But like I said, they're pretty much equals in my book. Like, it's a toss up between which one I thought had the better voice acting in this episode as All Might, Chris Sabath, or whoever voices him in the Japanese. Like I said, I don't really know any Japanese voice actors off the top of my head. I know a lot of dub voices, but anyway. So, he, uses like, that wind, like, that cork where, like, his arm, like, expands and then just pushes him. And then All Might is sent hurling towards a TV set, or a helicopter. Then Gran Torino manages to come in and save him right before he crashes in there, and, it blows up and explodes and the civilians die and shit. After that, he comes back down. He tells Gran Torino, like, that's the reason why he escaped last night. It's because you're too emotional. You get don't let him get under your skin. That's why he got away last time. And he says, understood, and wipes off a little bit of the blood that was on his mouth. Where then, of course, now at this point, like we saw last episode, All Might is pretty much lost, All for One. Or One for All, I should say, I'm forgetting those names. Or at least, where the quirk is, starting to really not work. Because, like you said, half and half of his face, half of his face is, his All Might form, and the other half is, so you could say, his true, scrawny, skeletal-esque form. And, then he hits him with another one of those, those huge air attacks. All Might manages to block it. While he also talks about, All for One keeps talking about, oh, how about I take that, I'm going to take that, would you find pressure? Then he realizes there's a civilian underneath all the rubble, and he, protects her. Also, Gran Torino comes in charge, but he can't really get because, the wind's so powerful. He manages to block it, but at the cost of that he loses One for All. At least where he doesn't lose it just yet, but he definitely loses, he's back at his, his true form. And, of course, everyone's shocked. Dick was like, All Might, your secret. And, throughout the episode, we also see a bunch of other people watch on TVs. We see, this random couple that kind of remind me of the family from Justice League that was kind of there just to give, I guess, I don't know, an alternate perspective of all the shit that's going down, I guess. We saw, Uraraka, she was there. Sue, not Yashirosa, she's with them. Who else? Tokoyami and Aoyama as well. And we also see at the beginning of the episode when they're talking Todoroki and the guys talking hey man, you guys are alright, blah blah blah. And then tells and then Bakugo, because him being Bakugo, also talks about how the rescue everything was how they rescued him. He was like, that wasn't a rescue mission. That was you guys were just my best means of escape route. He's like, you're welcome. Oh, I love Bakugo. Anyway, where we find out. Now, we guys know that, All for One called Shigaraki Shimura. And we know that the previous holder of One for All was Nana Shimura. Where we find out, and this was kind of like One for All's, mic drop. Being like, oh my, mic drop, bitch. Kind of like that, where he tells us that Shigaraki was Shimura's grandson. And when I heard it, I was like, oh shit, because I assumed maybe that was his son or something, but no, it was actually his grandson. And All Might's like, oh my god, Nana, what if she saw what we become? Ah! Yes. Oh my god. Like I said, the voice acting in that scene, I probably did sit in and your ears are probably bleeding for me trying it. The voice acting from Chris Sabat and the guy that voiced him in the Japanese. Lord, give these guys a fucking raise, because oh my god, Chris Sabat, you nailed it in this episode. He was fan-fucking-tastic, like, oh my god, he did fantastic. It was also whoever voices in the Japanese also did a fantastic job of voicing All Might with that, that scene, voice acting was just stellar. It was just stellar. And right after, All Might dropped, or All for One dropped that, that bombshell, that pipe bomb, we also see, he starts mocking Nana by doing, the kind of, smile thing where where some Nana told him was, the heroes that are always smiling, she, puts her fingers up on her mouth to make it look like she's smiling, are the ones that always come out, and All for One does that, too. And, of course he's mocking her, because, we also find out that he was the one that did kill Nana Shimura. He killed the previous holder of One for All. And did anyone else get Heath Ledger Joker vibes by that scene, or was it just me? Because I was watching and rewatching, because I rewatched the episode again, because this episode was too damn good not to rewatch. I was like, because I swear, did anyone else get, Heath Ledger Joker vibes from, when she, put her hands up, why so serious? I don't know, it was just gotta be, maybe it was just me just putting random shit together. Anyway, then, and we also see, the girl that's in the rubble tells her, you can do it, All Might, you can do, because, I said, he's, in his shriveled up true form, we know. And we also, we got Deku, he's over there crying and telling him all, and cheering him, All Might, you can do it. And we got Bakugo over there, screaming the top of the of course he's not crying out because he's fucking Bakugo. And, we got all the guys, cheering him on, saying, All Might, All Might, All Might, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. And then All Might guy takes a move out of Deku's playbook, because he still has parts of One for All, where he actually puts it all in his right arm, and All for One goes on about, that you don't have All for One for All anymore. What all you have is a ghost inside you when you transferred it to your next bearer, Izuku Midoriya. And I love that shot where, we see the flames and we kind of see All Might kind of, go on top of the flame, protecting it from the wind so it does stay up, flame a lot more. I don't know about it. I just love the way that shot was just presented. I really dig the way that shot was presented. Studio Bones, like I said, the direction for this episode was fucking phenomenal. And then we see All for One, just shout to say a bunch of fucking quirks, it was multiplier times 10 of the recoil, he in his arm, and he has this big bulging, and we also, before I begin top of the fight, we see, actually, Endeavor shows up, and of course he sees up the, All Might shriveled up form. It's what is up with this shriveled up body of yours? And he's and then Endeavor kind of has this flashback. He tells tell them why you are the number one. Tell them why you're better. I have been fighting and claw, because All for One. I was oh yes, Endeavor, you fought and you clawed your way up to the number 2 spot. Like I said, oh my god, and that band's theme. Oh my god, I love All for One's theme. It was amazing. It was spectacular. It was fucking phenomenal. We see, he talks about, that, and he tells, I was trained so hard to beat you, yet I couldn't. And this is what your true form is? How? And then we see this little flashback of Endeavor from, I'm guessing, a few years back when, All Might Prime was, when All Might was in his prime. And, Endeavor, and we find out that, really, that Endeavor realized that, this is a massive hit to his pride. Kind of when Vegeta finally realized that he could never top Goku in power levels. Like you said, he had to get Vegeta. He had to let Majin Babidi take over control of him just so he had the extra power to go Super Saiyan 2 to go head to head with Goku. And that amazing fight, by the way, in DBZ Kai. And so, which he realized that I couldn't even top him when he was this form. I was nowhere near him when he was in his prime, when All Might Prime was a thing. And which apparently, judging from Chibi's review, said that this will actually have massive ramifications to a later arc. Cause now I kind of give away a little talk about it because, like I said, I am subscribed to Chibi review, so I do see all his videos, or at least the majority of them, pop up in my sub box, including the videos on the course of manga, my everything, which is of course is far ahead of the anime. And I don't watch the videos, but I just kind of look at the titles. It talks one of them, the more recent one had Endeavor's Redemption, so maybe this will give him like maybe this will be like a wake up call for him where he realizes that he'll stop I guess he'll stop treating Todoroki as just more or less a tool to defeat All Might because now he's the number one hero by default. Yeah, this motherfucker that mentally abused his wife to the point where she was put in a mental institution, has a bunch of side hoes with kids, doesn't really care about anyone, pretty much abandons Todoroki and acts like he's nothing but a tool, is now the number one hero. How the fuck does he? I'm really curious how Horikoshi plans to redeeming this fucker, because it looks like that's what's gonna happen later on whenever the anime gets to that part in the manga. It's gonna be interesting. I have faith in Horikoshi where it'll make sense. I'll probably like, this is Endeavor's agenda, but I don't really know. I don't really see how you can redeem this fucker after all the shit he's pulled. Like I said, he drove his wife, Todoroki's mom, to damn near insanity because of, with the ice water, with the boiling water, throwing her into a mental institution, treating Todoroki like a tool, probably fucking some woman having Darby as a son, because that's a fan theory that Darby is a half brother to Todoroki, and I believe it because they do have some more quirks with fire and all that shit, but whatever. So yeah, he's now the number one hero by default, and so that's gonna be interesting on how this is gonna play out later arcs whenever we do get that part where Endeavor gets redeemed. Because I don't know how this guy. Maybe he gets jumped by all his side hoes and that's his wake up call. I don't know. That would be pretty funny to watch. Just see all of Endeavor's side hoes just jump on him. That'd be hilarious to watch. I had to say. Anyway, so after he gets he sends a bunch of quirks as his arm, this big bulging arm with a bunch of quirks inside, that arm that Zamasu had when he was facing off against Super Saiyan Blue Vegito in Super. And so, he of course, he then All Might uses All for One in his right hand. They collide, he then says, damage recoil, which then All Might arm just starts bleeding profusely and blood splatter all over the place. And his arm then looks pretty much like what Deku's arm looks like every time he uses one for all in Season 1, Season 2. But we also find out one other thing about All Might. And I love that Horikoshi put this in. Was that right before they had that collision, he talked about their first battle and really about how your survival instincts comes down. Because what he was talking about was that I have nightmares still to this day of you charging at me with your entrails smothering the ground. Yes, when All Might and All for One were fighting for the first time, literally All Might's organs and entrails were just plopped up on the floor, bleeding while he's just charging at him. What the fuck? I don't recall watching TG. When I heard that, I was like, huh? How the hell did you not die from loss of blood with your organs and entrails out? Organs and entrails. God damn. The human body can do some miraculous things. God damn. Damn. I'd put the fear in God. Any man with some man just charging it with their entrails coming out, with their entrails just flopping about. So that's probably why he got that hole. That was probably where he got that hole from, was because All for One punched him so hard that his entrails just came out. But then All Might still managed to pull out the W. I want to see this fight animated now. Really? Because I want to see, I got some shit in my head, but I want to see this on, in animation or on paper. So, anyway. So then he switches All for One to I think he switches it to his legs for a minute just to stop All for One long enough for him to switch it back to his left arm, where then he kind of then uppercuts him and then he says United States smash, and then he says I didn't put my back into it, and then he got that ping pong star thing and unite, and I don't know why is all my name all smash over state after states. Does Horikoshi just love the U.S. that much or something? I know he loves American comics. I know he collects them. We know he loves Marvel and all that shit, but doesn't he need to name all this stuff after states? Anyway, he uses one one for all. United States match. Oh my god, the art and animation in this episode. The art and animation. And, throughout the fight we see, Uraraka's crying, Aoyama, everyone's concerned, Deku's crying, because they want All Might to take him out there because they don't know if he's going to win. And he talks, he talks, All for One talks about how what All Might has left of All for One or One for All is nothing but a shell. It's just a ghost. So which makes me think that All Might in that one single handshake he gave to Deku was pretty much all of One for All, with like the left. Well, he just kept pretty much the leftovers of it. Whatever he couldn't fit in the hair strand, he probably just kept the leftovers. And as we know, his time limit for being what All Might, having One for All, has been steadily decreasing throughout Season 1 and Season 2. To the point where now, he pretty much loses, like he said in the episode, goodbye, One for All, and goodbye, All for One. So now I know a lot of people were complaining, All Might should have died here, because almost shown series, it seems like the Cemento usually dies, in major spoiler for Naruto, when Jiraiya died, or the third Hokage died. Those were mentors for Naruto. It's like the only two guys that didn't hate Naruto, besides maybe Team 7, that didn't hate him just for existing, that didn't want him dead. And so, like I said, because now I understand where Horikoshi is coming from, because All Might is now quirkless, just like Deku was. The only person that does have One for All anymore is Deku. He's the only person that has it now. All Might is retired at this point. He's forced to retire because he lost One for All in that fight. And which Chibi, now it also kind of reminded me when Chibi was talking about, this is probably gonna mess with All Might's mental state when he can't really, where he wants to do something but he can't because he's quirkless. And as we know, and as the saying goes in The Dark Knight, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Now I'm not saying All Might's gonna do a full 180 and then break All for One out of prison and beg and plead him to give him a quirk just so he go back. No. Horikoshi and All Might aren't idiots. I'm just saying this might really fuck with his mental state to where he might become a little unhinged in certain areas. That's me kind of speculating. Do I expect that to really happen? No, I just feel I'm probably being moping around a lot, saying I couldn't do nothing, I feel useless, because he doesn't have the core, because he doesn't have One for All anymore, which, okay, I love the scene where All Might, after he finally beats One for All, and he stands up and puts his arm up. Which, of course, if I did win, which is another that remind me of The Undertaker, from WWE, because, every time The Undertaker wins, at WrestleMania, at the end of every match he does, whether he wins or loses, he always puts his hand up once he gets up to the top of the ramp. So that's a nice little touch there. And he also used, I guess, the last little bit of One for All he had left, just to go full muscular to reassure the people that, I'm still here, motherfuckers, I ain't dead. That the symbol of peace is still here. And, of course, the absolute best scene in this episode was indeed the scene where All Might points to the camera and says, "It's your turn now." Now, most people seriously say, "Oh, he's talking to other villains," but we know that he's actually talking to Deku and telling him, "Man, I'm done. I'm out. I'm retired. It's your turn now to be the symbol of peace. I'm out. Here's the torch." And I'm not gonna lie, that scene got me emotional. I wasn't crying or nothing, but I felt the feels, and man, I was on the verge of crying. I haven't been that close to the verge of crying since I saw the second last episode of Assassination Classroom, Season 2. I was like, oh my god, I could feel tears almost starting to come up a bit, but I managed to hold out and be like, I'm not crying, nope, oh my god, the emotion, like I said, Chris Sabat, once again, spectacular voice acting from Chris Sabat. Give this man a raise and give him an Oscar, goddamn, for his performance. Because Chris Sabat deserved it. And that's pretty much where the episode ends with Deku kind of crying at the fact that, and realize that he is now the symbol of peace, or that he's all that's left of One for All. Like All Might said, it's your turn now. I'm out. Which, oh my god, the art and animation, oh my god, I cannot wait. There's so many screenshots of them, so I can't wait to make for the thumbnail. It's gonna be glorious. I can't wait to see whatever next week. I'm not going to do a live read for next episode because it looks like that's going to be a chill recovery episode, probably focus a little bit on character development, the aftermath, we're probably going to see what's a lot. All Might, how he's handling the fact that he is now indeed quirkless. Because we know All Might's retired at this point. He's done. Excuse me. And yeah, we know it's now Deku's turn. If All for One comes back, or say maybe Shigaraki gets it, he has to face him now. All Might can't. which definitely has me interested in whatever next is in store for Hero Walker, for Deku. Like, oh my god, this series is gonna be, and I can't wait to see my good friend Emmanuel's reaction to this part, because again, you guys know he's actually watching the series on Toonami. I managed to convince him to watch after I told him it's fucking amazing, and I'll tip. Now, Gray also told me oh man, I'm not really digging it so much because we're getting around halfway through season 1 right now in Toonami. The current time of this recording, the time it will be released, and he's fine because he's not really digging it as much as I do, due to the fact that he actually finds Deku and Bakugo actually annoying. I can understand Deku in season 1 because, like he said, the man was crying every 5 seconds and jumping at shadows, and Bakugo's Bakugo, which I understand. Bakugo's kind of an acquired taste for some. I feel like most of the Hero Walkers here love him, but I can understand why some people don't like Bakugo. If you came up to me and told me I find Bakugo annoying, I'd be like, yeah, it's probably because he threatens people all the goddamn time. But I told him I told him I told him Bakugo's an acquired taste, and told him Deku subscribe, jumping at shadows in season 2. So I'm just hoping he sticks around to it, and it's there's gonna be a few moments later on season 1 that I think is really gonna take, of course, the build, the stuff that happened, the mock battle at the in the city, and of course the fight between All Might and Nomu. I think he's gonna really defend because he's a huge Dragon Ball fan. Those fights really kind of, and then Nomu fight really goes into that, probably will scratch that Dragon Ball itch he has now that Super's over. And then I already know he's gonna probably love season 2 because he loves Naruto, so I know he's gonna love the Chunin exam. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed the video. So my final verdict for this week's episode is of course a 10 out of 10. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you feel like it. Please just below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.
She's too